Tonight we have the 2023 Mercedes EQS SUV, the all-electric SUV from Mercedes, and there's no better way to experience it than at night, so here we are. Let's get started. Welcome everyone, let's take a look at the exterior details real quick on this EQS SUV in the top end Pinnacle trim. So it really makes a statement at night with the lighting here. You're gonna get all LED lights as you would have expected, and this has the digital LED lighting, which I'll show you that a little bit more later on our test drive. You'll get a really good look at it. So you've got this LED light bar running across, LED blinker, and full LED headlights. Of course, you even have a digital light little badge in there. These lights look really cool when we're driving. This is the Alpine gray paint here, and it's going to be paired with 21-inch wheels. Look at the illuminated door handles, the Mercedes emblem on the ground. I'll show you that a little bit more later. Automatic pop-out door handles as well. And what do you think of the overall look here? It looks similar to that sedan EQS, but just lifted up in the back. Finishing up in the back, look at these taillights. These are LED taillights, of course. Little squiggly lines right here, kind of dimensional taillights, even over into this LED light bar that runs all the way across. So matching the front of the car, you've got this light bar, so it really makes this Mercedes stand out. Now the cargo space for this EQS SUV isn't too bad either, considering its size. You can move this little Mercedes emblem to get in here, or you can just swipe your foot. You've got the hands-free option to open or close it. And if you've seen my other night videos, I usually talk about the lighting in here, but this has 23 cubic feet behind the second row. Great lighting back here too. Plus, if you fold the seats down, you'll get over 70 cubic feet of total space. And it's a nice place back here with some extra slots to be able to hook some grocery bags or something like that. And there's no spare tire. You just get a tire inflator kit back here or some extra space to maybe throw a charger or something. Now, as you approach this Mercedes at night, with the key fob on, you're gonna get these door handles that pop out and are going to be illuminated. It's gonna give you a really nice welcome. Then when you unlock it, open the door, you've got this nice little sound that comes out of here. You probably can't hear it, but you also have the Mercedes emblem on the ground, lights that come down, the lights on the inside, front and back light up as well. It's just a nice, welcoming experience. Now, front seats of the Mercedes, it's pretty cool. You've got this pattern on the ground on the inside that actually like twinkles little lights, and you've got the Mercedes emblem on that side. So this is really cool. Illuminated door sill here, ambient lighting up on the door. Your seat controls are on the door and you can control them on the screen as well. And we have some Napa leather seats. This white looking, creamy looking interior is really nice. You actually have big bolsters here, and these bolsters are adjustable, so you can control how tight those bolsters squeeze you. You've got this pillow for your headrest that can be moved up and down, and you can adjust your headrest forward and backwards. So that is excellent. The lumbar can be adjusted on the screen as well. And the leather feels pretty authentic here. It's nice and soft, and you've got good cushioning in here. I was able to spend a good amount of time in this car and be comfortable. The steering wheel is also power tilt and telescoping in here. And if you want, you've got heated and ventilated seats, including a rapid heating function to heat these puppies up in a hurry. 3-position manual settings here as well. And of course, we have multiple different massages with this multi-contouring seat. You can control yours and the passengers and make it more intense or not. It's really awesome. I love it. Here's some more adjustments that you can do. Mercedes and their seats are fantastic, and so is the massage function. Now, climbing into the back seat of this EQS, this SUV has ambient lighting back here too, even illuminated sill plates for the second row, and you've got some well illuminated and comfortable, nice looking seats. I mean, even look at this pillow right here. You've got a nice pattern here on the door. You've got the same seat adjustments on the door like you do up front. The ambient lighting, like I said. Anyways, heated seats back here too. We have AC vents right there. You have AC vents down here and your own climate controls down here. 4-zone climate control. This works well. It looks nice too. And then down below that, we've got 2 pop-out USB-C charging ports. Overhead, we actually get 2 different light strips. You've got one up there. You've got one up there. You have one where you can make it be a big light or even just a little tiny reading lamp. In the middle, you've got a nice like metal piece right here, actual nice material. Fold this down, take a look at that. we've got this wireless charging mat. This is actually like really nice. Pop this up, you got a little space right here too. Then of course the Mercedes cup holders and a little spot if you want to put a phone or a tablet right there. This is a bougie armrest. Legroom in here is good. I should have talked about that first. Foot space is really good. It's almost like the floor is low, so my knees don't feel like they're up in my chest. Comfortable, spacious back seat. And I can sit up tall with plenty of headroom too. Like I said, it feels like, you know, the vehicle is low. Like the bottom of the vehicle is low because you don't have the same components like you do in a gas vehicle. And we've got these comfortable headrests. The only thing is these seats don't have like a major recline function, but otherwise it's pretty nice back here. Now to get to the third row, it's kind of annoying. You don't have just an easy, quick access. You've got these slow moving power seats. And then it gives you a little bit of space to get back there. So I'm not able to pull that seat back and actually fit here. You can see that my knees are past that, but at least you have a split fold so you can have somebody in this seat and still have some room for storage right here. You even have a little strap to hold stuff down, a tie down, cup holders, and there's USB-C ports. And I'm not able to sit up tall, unfortunately, but of course you probably only want to put your mother-in-law in this third row anyways. And let's not forget you've got a sunroof there and a double pane roof, so you've got one above the second and third row and the first row. All right, so hopping inside, taking a look at more of the features in here. So I showed you the ambient lighting on the door, the controls there. Steering wheel has this like touch sensitive type of material to it. I've seen this in a couple other vehicles and I don't typically like it, but it seems to work okay here on Mercedes. Just like before, you can control the display there with this side of the steering wheel, or you can even control the main display from your steering wheel, which is actually a really nice function, so you don't have to take your hands off the wheel. You've got this leather wrap steering wheel. It's actually not heated in this particular car, which is very surprising to me, but you can pretty much always get a heated steering wheel with Mercedes if you want to pay for it. Then you've got this digital display right here, a large digital display, and those red eyes looking at us, those are actually sensors. So you can customize this display as you've seen with other Mercedes models, or at least have a little bit of different styles, like the Sport, Classic. I usually just keep it in Classic, or you can have it be more focused like your driver assistant stuff. You can have all of that front and center on here. And this, if you move up, you can go to your head-up display, so you can see more information on your head-up display, which is pretty crazy, just how much you can actually see. So I'll show you that, so you can see some of this info on here, just what it looks like as we scroll through things. It's kind of crazy. It has this augmented reality type of ability as well, and it honestly kind of messes with my eyes, so I don't use it. Then coming across, we'll talk more about the ambient lighting in a little bit, because that is a huge part of this vehicle, especially at night. Just look how bright everything is. But you've got this huge screen, and it's not just this screen, it's attached. It's like this hyper screen from there to there, even over to the passenger side, getting their own little screen too. So I showed you the seat controls, just like typical Mercedes. Let me start this puppy up actually. When you start it up, you get the headlights dancing, you get the ambient lighting dancing. It's a really cool startup. Like I said, you have to experience this car at night. So same kind of MBUX infotainment setup here. You've got climate controls down below. You can get into more climate controls by tapping on that. Home button brings you to this screen. Then you can go and dive into all of these different settings whenever you need to. When you actually go to your settings, there's quite a bit that you can mess with and look at. You can even change the dynamic function of your high beams, driver assistance features, and what all works with that. More vehicle specific things if you want to change those. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are wireless on here, and it takes up a big chunk of this screen. Works really well. I've got no complaints with it whatsoever. Now if we shift into reverse, take a look at this camera. I love Mercedes' cameras for the most part. It's hard to tell exactly how close you are to something with this camera though. It's not 100% accurate, but you can still use it and rely on it for the most part. You can change the views. It's still a nice camera. And your parking assistance can help you park in parallel or perpendicular parking spots. Now down from there, we've got this cover that can go over everything. Otherwise, you have a wireless charging mat, 2 USB-C charging ports, an extra little storage tray here, and a couple of cup holders. Let me turn everything on so we can see a little bit better here. So these cup holders can be taken away too, so you can make it so that you just have more open space, and they're sensitive, so where if you put something on them, it will close around your your cup. So that's pretty cool. Back here we've got more controls, so a few different things here to cover. Your start button, obviously, you've got a fingerprint sensor right there, your own driver profile, a little bit of audio controls, volume, you can turn it off with that, your parking camera right here, and more of your vehicle stuff like the dynamic is to change your drive modes here. On this side, dynamic is what helps change your drive modes, and that's going to show up on the screen. Eco, Comfort, Sport, we'll go through this in the test drive, your own customizable one as well. Or you can hit the EQ button and see more information about charging, your range, all of that stuff on here. You can program this to automatically pre-cool or start up at a certain time, basically however you want to control and customize those things. If you hit the car icon right there, it's going to give you this quick screen. So it's kind of like a quick menu here to where you can quickly turn off or on, like your active lane keeping system, or if you want to turn your head-up display off, things like that. You've got another page over here. So it's nice to have a little quick settings option. Down below, you've got an extra storage area and 2 USB-C charging ports. Open this up, nice metal material right here. You've got good storage there. It's actually pretty deep, and more USB-C charging ports. It's kind of cool opening this. You actually just push that button. You got a nice, softly lined, soft opening, lit glove box. It's actually pretty good size. So we've got an automatic dimming rearview mirror right here. You also get garage controls. You've got some nice lighting up overhead. And check this out. You've got a little ring of ambient light above that. And if you just want a little gentle light, for example, let's look over here. So we've got just a little light on right there, and it's about perfect if someone wants to read or something like that without it being bright and blinding in my face. But you can still turn on big, brighter lights if you want to. So Mercedes and their lighting is just excellent. And then if you didn't see already, we've got a panoramic roof for us and a big old roof in the back. And unlike some Mercedes, we still have a sliding visor. Now I want to jump back into this screen here and talk about the ambient lighting. This is usually what I emphasize in my night reviews. You've got multicolor options. You can do monochrome, single color, and basically pick any color that you want. You can adjust the brightness in multiple areas. And look at this. Let me dim this down just a little. This looks a little bit too bright. Okay, so this is actually pretty close to realistic right here, in fact. So you can change the color. I love keeping it in multicolor, one of these multicolor things, and you can have it animated to where it actually changes a little bit depending over time. So like that top might turn a little bit more green, or things might change just a little bit depending on what you're doing. Let's go to that. They have different names for them. This is called ultramarine. I can definitely see that. I also love how you can have the brightness be completely adjustable. So I mean, this is bright all the way up. I'm gonna go down about halfway, 10 out of 20, and we'll go down to a 2. Things dim down more than what it looks like on the camera. The camera's definitely trying to pump this thing up, but you can make it dim if you want, or you can completely shut things off. And I mean, there's ambient lighting wrapped all around you, the center console, down low, up overhead, and even in the back seat. Now you might be thinking, why are you sitting on the passenger side? Well, it's because the passenger gets their own screen too. Check it out. We've got our own part of this monster screen dedicated for the passenger, and it only works if someone is actually sitting here. So it's similar to what you can control on the main screen. There's different things. Of course, the passenger gets the heated and ventilated seats as well. So if I go to the home screen, it's going to look just like that main screen. But if you have someone driving you, or maybe your passenger just wants to be in control of things, they can be. All the same stuff that you can control over there, even the volume, that's dangerous. Otherwise, it's pretty cool. Instead of reaching all the way over there, they only have to reach right here now. And the cool thing about this too is that you can control the second row of seats from here, and it keeps track of your particulate matter for your air in the air purifying, so that is also a nice touch. Not to mention it has fragrance involved too, that you can adjust how much fragrance you get. You can do that on the climate control over there too, but this is just amazing how much this passenger can do. Now when you turn the car on, you've got pretty cool function here. This is the digital lights. Look at that. You've got the little dance that they do. They look really good too. You've got a good beam pattern right here. Turn the high beams on. That's nice and bright. We've got automatic high beams. We'll go through that in the test drive in a second. And even when you shut the car off, or if you unlock the car, it'll give you another little dance like this, little rain. That's pretty cool. Just another way to experience this Mercedes. All right, y'all, we are going for a night drive, test drive. So most of the time in my just regular night videos, I don't talk that much about driving dynamics, but I'm going to in this one because this one's kind of a blend of both. So I'll talk about the driving dynamics and how well these headlights do and what it's like to live with this EQS. And I tell you what, having a pillow for a headrest is definitely kind of weird, but it's also kind of cool. I drove this thing out of town about 170 miles and I was comfortable the whole way. Me, massage, heat, oh yeah, it was nice. And it was not at nighttime, but I could live with these ambient lights. These headlights do a pretty crazy job too. I'll show you that with the zoomed in view of that camera over there so you can see what that looks like when they open and close. It's pretty darn cool with the automatic high beams. So first impression, this EV is fun to drive, but it's also comfortable and plush to drive too. It's also very, very quiet. This is a rough textured road back there, and this thing is so quiet. It's so punchy as well. So this isn't quite like that AMG EQS that I was in. That thing was nuts, headache inducing if you accelerated enough in that thing. This is still quick. I mean, instant torque out of here, just instant zoom. And you can feel bumps in here. You know, I hit a couple big manholes back there. You can feel them, you can hear them. It's got this very comfortable plush couch-like feel to it, but you feel the bumps a little more than I kind of expected you to at this price point, halfway to $200,000. But it's still comfortable, I gotta say that. Now, the steering on here, first of all, the steering wheel is very comfortable to hold on to. The shape and the contouring of this thing is really nice, but it's also got a good amount of feedback for being a comfortable vehicle without being too firm or too sloppy either. And you got your own individual customized drive modes in here where you can customize things like that too. We have an adaptive suspension. This is an air suspension, and you can even adjust the height of this thing in there if you need to, but it's just comfortable to drive. I mean, you've got the power and torque that you would expect from Mercedes in an EV, and you've got the comfort that you would expect in just the regular gas models, but now in this pure EV format. So quick note, this has different recuperation ratings. So right now I'm in no recuperation. I just changed that, and what that means is if I let off the brake, this car will coast for a long time. I mean, there's like no friction. If I hit they're not paddle shifters, but if I hit the left paddle on the steering wheel, it brings me back to normal recuperation, which will slow you down a little bit if you let off the accelerator, and you can feel a little bit of resistance when you drive. And then you can hit the left one again and get strong recuperation, which is a lot like one pedal driving, where it will slow you down without touching the brakes. So it recaptures as much energy as possible when you're off of the accelerator. All right, so let's go ahead and get on a dark, curvy road where I like to take some corners, check out these headlights as well. I'm gonna actually put us in sport mode here too for a little pedal down. Boom, up to speed in a hurry. And did you see those headlights? Just open the door and it's super bright. Super bright going around this corner. These are adaptive lights, side to side. You've got the automatic adaptive high beam. And in full disclosure, I'm in the US. These headlights are probably different than some of the European countries. I know you guys get some special headlights that we don't get at this point. And it sensed that that car was up there, so now we've got low beams. So that's great that it was able to knock those out. And this is handling pretty well too. It's the nice thing about these EVs is a lot of that weight is at the bottom of the vehicle with that battery. So it handles well, it's fun to drive, super fast and torquey. High beams just kicked up again. Now in sport mode, it doesn't feel quite as sporty as I thought, but I think I'm kind of still used to that AMG EQS, which was just bananas. That thing could handle like nobody's business, and it was so fun. And this one is fun too. It's just a little more comfort oriented. Now, what do you think of the ambient lighting in here? I have it turned up right now. Let me go ahead and turn it down quite a bit to where it's much more dim. You can have it be like that if you want. You can have it bright, or you can turn it completely off. That is 100% up to you. And I love that they give you that flexibility. Some cars, you're just stuck with one color, you're stuck with one brightness, you're stuck with nothing. It just kind of depends. Now, Mercedes also gives us the suite of driver.
How can I help?
Oh, you just can't say the M word in here, can you? You can shut off that hey blank system too, so it doesn't do that if you actually say the M word more often. But they give you a suite of driver assist features. So you've got blind spot indicators, you got a lane centering and lane keeping system, adaptive cruise control. It will even change lanes for you once you turn your signal on. Did you see those headlights just close like that? It's pretty cool. Now, getting on a rough textured road, as we always do, watch these high beams open up. There they go. And the thing is, this car is so quiet. It is super quiet. I mean, so I drove this on some county roads, some rough textured roads, construction roads, when I drove this out of town, and I still felt like going to sleep. I mean, you got a pillow for your head, you got a super quiet ride, you've got heated massaging seats, and it's a very luxurious experience. And that's one reason why I did this full review at night, is because that's the best way to experience this car. Let me know what you think of this more full review style at night, in addition to my regular night videos that are more condensed. Let's go ahead and wrap things up. So to wrap things up on this EQS SUV, it's nice having an all-electric option from Mercedes. You have sedan, you have SUV. I showed you the AMG EQS sedan before, and that thing was just bananas to drive, and this one is fun too. Even though it's not the AMG model, it's still fun. It's got decent range, charging is okay, and you've got the Mercedes luxury inside that you would expect. And the experience you get at night with these Mercedes cars is on another level. But let me know down below what you think of this EQS SUV. If you're looking for an EV SUV, would you go for this? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great night.